include a lifelong commitment and involvement in agriculture or rural life, a commitment that doesn't necessarily derive from a financial benefit, integrity and/or character that strengthens and upholds the positive image of agriculture and rural life, demonstrated leadership in moving agricultural and rural communities forward, rising above adversity to promote agriculture, and inspiring and sharing their enthusiasm and experience with the next generation to promote a positive image of our industry. It's very easy to nominate a deserving Vermonter for the honor. Simply go to the Champlain Valley Exposition website and follow the links to the nomination form. We've kept it pretty simple and only require the one-page form and 2 or 3 paragraphs about the nominee. The committee reviews all nomination forms every year in midsummer, and no nomination is ever discarded. Please help us in 2017 by sending in a nomination. And now we're going to introduce the class of 2016. Our first nominee for 2016 is Ralph McNall, nominated by Leon Berthume. Ralph is well known for his energy and enthusiasm for the dairy industry. In 1973, Ralph assumed ownership. You need that? In 1973, Ralph assumed ownership of the Two River Farm from his father. The farm had been in the family since the late 1800s, but it didn't take long for Ralph to become involved in off-farm activities, including a 30-year run as a director of the St. Albans Cooperative. He was vice president for 10 years and retired as president in 2016 after serving for 11 years. He was a member of the United Dairy Industry Association and the New England Dairy Promotion Board, Eastern AI, National Milk Producers Federation Board, and the Northeast Dairy Farmers Cooperative Board have also benefited from Ralph's leadership and expertise. Ralph was a well-known advocate for the dairy industry in Montpelier and also in Washington, D.C. He led the development and eventual establishment of the Young Cooperator Program at St. Albans, as well as helping to improve the financial position and investments of the co-op and the acquisition of their own transportation program with the purchase of McDermott's Trucking. Ralph credits Ryle Dow with securing the co-op's best-known customer, Ben & Jerry's. They called and needed just 500 pounds of cream. Somehow we got it to them, and that investment paid off, he says. The famous ice cream maker is one of the cooperative's largest customers. Ralph worked to lead an effort by Franklin County dairy farmers to get supply management into an earlier farm bill, and even back in 2006, he was worried about the huge swings in the milk prices. There's still a good future for dairy farming. You just have to be smarter, says Ralph. And being smarter means being willing to accept new technology and new information, as well as being better stewards of the land and animals. Two River Farm was recognized with the prestigious Vermont Dairy Farm of the Year Award in 2006, the first farm in Franklin County to be named. The farm was one of the first places visited by a newly hired county extension agent whose name just happens to be Glenn Rogers. He wrote, "The fields and farm buildings are perfectly cared for. The dairy system and barn facilities are always clean. A milk inspector could arrive any day and give them a 100. In fact, they once received a 99 and are still talking about not wanting to do that again." Ralph credits his sons, Glenn and David, along with their families, with taking such great pride in their farm, as well as carrying on their dad's tradition of being involved. Both men have been committed to community activities while their dad worked the state and national stages. Ralph stepped down from the St. Albans Cooperative Board earlier this year, but hasn't retired. "As a typical farmer, I don't have a lot of hobbies," he said. "I'm going back to farming full-time. It gets in your blood." Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in honoring Ralph McNall.
I won't keep you long, but no, words don't explain the feeling that I have. This isn't the first time I've had a little trouble doing this because, as you know, I think it was just said that I retired from the outside activities back in the spring. And to walk away from people, I guess, is difficult for me. But it's certainly humbling. It's certainly a privilege to be named to the Agricultural Hall of Fame. I want to thank the committee. I want to thank the donors that support this organization as well. And I certainly want to thank the other recipients. This isn't something I expected, but here's the paper right here that it's all at your table, that it's all at your places. And to look down through there and even dream that I rank close to some of these is humbling again to me. So with that, I want to thank everybody for being here. I know it's been an effort. It's a rainy day, but on the ride down, I told my wife, I said, it's going to be a light crowd today. People don't go to the fair on many days, but you proved me wrong again. So thanks again.
It's a rainy day. It's the best time for farmers to get away, right? Our next member of the class of 2016 is Ann Brown, nominated by Glenn Rogers. She has been described as the first face of Vermont Morgans for countless years. And indeed, she's interrupting her work in the Morgan exhibit at the fair today to be at the luncheon. Through her active participation as a member of the Vermont Morgan Horse Association since 1968, serving at different times as president, vice president, and treasurer, she has been a leading promoter of Morgans in Vermont and beyond. She received the American Morgan Horse Association Woman of the Year Award in 2005 and was presented with the Dean C. Davis Memorial Award in 2010. Qualifications for the Davis Award include having at least 30 years of association with the Morgan breed. She got her first Morgan horse in 1960, and her family established the Meadowy Morgan Horse Farm in 1963 in Westford, which Ann continues to own and operate. She doesn't like to talk too much about her success, but she has been on the A show circuit, or the big gun show, for years. She and her homebred Morgans once won 5 state championships in 1 year, and in 2015, she and her horse placed as the champion in classic pleasure driving at Eastern States. She has also owned the Grand Champion mare at VMHA's spring class and the Reserve World Champion Morgan, formerly owned by UVM. She has served on the UVM Morgan Horse Farms Board of Advisors and is a member of the Morgan Horse Heritage Foundation. She led the fundraising to pay for the restoration of the Black Hawk Morgan horse skeleton and the installation of a museum-quality exhibit at the farm in 2013. As mentioned, she has been busy promoting the Morgan here at the fair since 1987, and she and one of her horses has been in residence at the Vermont Farm Show since 1988. Never to forget her purpose to honor the Morgan, Ann told Glenn, "I accept the nomination to the Hall only as a way to promote our state animal, the Morgan horse." Ladies and gentlemen, please help me honor Ann Brown.